So, a slightly different angle today because it is really hot. Not a single cloud in the sky, so I've decided today I'll do a bit of a filter clean as it is getting very hot, so I don't want any of that ammonia build up. Got some bad news to start with. Seems like we're always doing bad news, but I've seen a few other koi keepers having some issues and troubles. I lost a big Ochiba, bit of a blow, but I think I sort of saw it coming. Unfortunately, ever since I've had the Ochiba, in previous videos you've seen, it's always had a swim bladder issue. And then I think, well, I know this because I did a kind of autopsy on the koi, and with this being the first year of the pond being built, and also the addition of the females, because most of those new koi are females, there was tons of eggs inside of her, so I think that the eggs have not been able to been discharged. Obviously with the koi pond there's nothing in there. I didn't really want them to start spawning, so no spawning brushes were put in the pond. So that, and then I did a scrape on the kind of last legs, and I found Costia to top it all off, which was not good, but you know, it's a really hard hobby. If anyone's thinking about doing a koi pond, just do your research before, because I've had some real big issues because I haven't done proper research in the past. Now I've done the research after building it, which is not the way to do it, but I've had some really great responses online, you know, with the water testing in the last video. Also loads of different people that, you know, gave me loads of different advice on all the forums, Facebook groups, and here on YouTube as well. So today what I'll be doing is I'll do a filter clean, and I'll be adding some formalin malachite treatment. Usually I use the NT Labs premix. They didn't have any in stock. I went to Koi Water Gardens in Sutton, which is where I'm based, and they're very helpful down there. So I've got the formalin and malachite just underneath the camera actually, and they also gave me what seems to be like a kind of information sheet regarding the dosage of each of them. So what I'll do is do a filter clean. The hose is running up here. Don't worry, the hose isn't going in the pond. I'm using it to clean out the mechanical stage of the Nexus. Some people say not to use it, some people say use it. Well, I mean, I can only see the mechanical stage filtration on the inner chamber, so I'll be using that. Jet washing it out as well, giving it a real proper thorough clean before I add the treatment. So I've got some blue damsel flies and red damsel flies flying down by the nature pond down here, getting a little bit distracted. But what I'll do is I'll go head on into the filter house, although it's not really a filter house, there's no roof on it at the minute, but I can then go over and hopefully I can show you. As I say, it is blistering hot out today, don't know why I'm wearing jeans, but what I'll do is I'll try and put it in there somehow, the camera, so you can see, although it might get a bit splashed. So what I'm going to do is go in there, jet wash out the inner chamber, all the K1 as well, and then I'll be doing the malachite and formalin treatment together in the ponds. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and in. Hopefully the camera doesn't overheat this time, but we will see. So not the greatest start to the video, and it seems to be a kind of reoccurring theme, but we will get there. I'm hoping, you know, this is just a test. I think, you know, it's like a relationship, you know, you're going to have these big tests throughout your time together, me and the pond. So if we can come back from these losses stronger than we have been, you know, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for bears. Bears will kill you. I'm joking. But yeah, we'll go over, clean out the Nexus chamber, and get started on the treatment. So I'm not sure how much we kind of showed last time in the video, but one of these air pumps actually was it was stopping the, well, it was tripping all the electrics, so I had to unplug everything. What I've done now is it looks a little bit tidier. Got the UV going down there. I've moved the switch box over here as well, so everything's a little bit tidier. I've got the tripod set up here. Hopefully it won't overheat, but we'll see, and then we'll give it this big clean out. So hopefully next thing you'll see is a nice little time lapse of cleaning out the Nexus. So as you guys just saw there, what I usually do is on the first bubble, I usually put the jet wash inside here, in the inner chamber here, because a lot of the time, lots of gunk and muck can get stuck in the bottom of the actual inner chamber here, and the bubbling doesn't really get rid of it too much. So I like to do that, and obviously you can see that there's so much more muck. If I put my hand on there, you can see it's all green and horrible in there, and it just gives it a way better kind of bubbling effect, gets rid of all the scum at the bottom of the inner chamber as well. So what we'll do is we'll let this bubble for a few minutes, and then what we'll do is we'll drain out the inner chamber as well. So once the inner chamber has dropped below the level of the outer chamber, what I like to do as well, and I got this tip off Decoy, I believe it is I remove the stopper in the middle, pull that out. What it does is kind of back flush whatever crap's inside underneath the Nexus. So I'll pull that out. So that just gives me a nice back flush. Anything that's stuck in the inside there, it'll all come out now, and then I just plop that back in there. Obviously you will lose some of the outer chamber, the water in that, but it's just a good way. There you go, you can hear that's now emptied out. So what I'll do is I'll just turn the air off, put it back to the pond, because we need that air in this hot weather, and then I'll give it a good old jet wash out. So as you saw there, I just released the gate valve from the bottom drain. Now that's filled this way back up to the top. What I'll do is I'll give it another bubble. That just gets rid of any little things that are still in there. So what we'll do, turn on the bubbles, let that bubble away now. This is how I generally like to clean the inside of the Nexus, just give it a real proper thorough clean. Especially before I do any treatments of any kind, just like to give that a good old filter clean. Also I'm going away for a couple of nights, so I just want to make sure that the filter's all good, everything's topped up in the pond, because it's going to be really, really hot. So we'll let that bubble away. So I then tend to kind of leave this until there's no real change in the outside water circle here. So that kind of means that all the stuff that's coming off the K1, you can see that that's nice and clean now, giving it a real proper go over. And I can still see through the water. Yes, there is some fines and things coming off of the media, but I think that's good enough for me. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead, open the waste valve, keep that bubbling. There's no harm in not letting it bubble. And then once the media kind of settles, so it's almost at the level, you'll see it sinking once you empty the Nexus, or the inner chamber rather. So that's now settled, so I'll turn the air off, divert it back to the pond, and you see there's a little bit of scum here on the sides. So what I'll probably do is give it a little tiny squish of the jet wash. feel as though my dog may have turned off the hose, which is slightly frustrating, but it's done the job in the way. So that's all cleaned out now. What I'll do is I'll close that valve again. These are my grids. What I'll do is I'll leave this centerpiece in until it's filled up, so I'll go around the other side and open the base, the gate valve. The gate valve is fully open now, and you should start to see the water returning back to that inner chamber. So yeah, it's filling up nicely. It's actually higher than the outside chamber. So I'll go ahead, I'll take out this inner piece here. Then you'll start to see the outer chamber rising. I'll put on a little bit of air for everything out here. So that's all filled up now, and I'll go ahead and turn on the pump. So that's how I clean my Nexus out. So as I was saying, to turn the bubbles on, the actual outside power got tripped. Now sometimes if the washing machine or tumble dryer is on, and it's just one of the things that we learn to live with, but trips the power. But we can now put a little bit of air going around, and I do need to get some more K1. I might get some K1 Micro to put in there as well. As you can see, everything's at the same level now. If I turn the Nexus pump, the water will slowly start to be pulled down into there and out to the pond. You can, it's slowly starting to spin now, going around. So that's all cleaned out. Perfect, that's all there. This here is actually the grid that goes in the front of the Nexus, but touch wood, I've never had a problem, so I just leave it on there. Nexus lid can now go back on, and we'll head outside and start the treatment. So we're going to mix the treatment now for Costia, which I found in the pond. Now I went down to my local koi dealer, Koi Water Gardens in Sutton. Some of you may have seen their YouTube videos of their really cool pond builds. They very kindly gave me this, which is sort of like a guide sheet of how to use the formalin and malachite, because usually this is what I've got or had in the past, a pre-mixture. Just made it a little bit easier for me. But what we're doing today is we'll be pre-mixing it. So bear with, guys, this is first time mixing things, don't get it wrong. So as I say, also this here is for my pond, not for your pond. Maybe if you've got 3,000 gallons, but this is just for what I'm doing for mine. I'm not saying to copy what I'm doing. So we're going to be using these treatments here. So this is what's been recommended to me by the guys at Koi Water Garden. So, and I did ask, you know, about NT Labs, and they said no, this is the stuff that they use for all their quarantine. Oh, a bit slippery. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and mix them. So we'll start with the malachite, which is we'll start with the formalin, which is 204 milliliters. This thing, you can hardly see the measurements. What I'll be using is on here, don't know how well you'll be able to see that, probably not very well, but on here they actually have measurements on the bottle, so I can measure out what was this, formalin, 204 mils of formalin. So, oh, that's alright, it's all open. What I'll do, so get that up to 25. So that's 25. 50. 75. 100. 125. 150. 175. 200. And then 4. So that's for that. So guys, just checking the bottles, making sure there's anything else I need to do. Okay, yep, so that's the formalin done. Now we've got the malachite. This stuff definitely stains around, so I don't want any on me. And 170 of the malachite. $25. 50. 75. 100. 125. 150. And then we want 170. Right, let's put the cap over this. We do not want that going everywhere. But I've got plenty of it in there. And same with the formalin, so I'll be doing another treatment of them. I'll keep this handy little guide here as well. What I'll do is I'll find a trusty stick of some sort, mix this together, put some pond water in there as well, and then sprinkle that around the pond. Now I was advised by then to stop feeding for a couple of days whilst treatment was going on, and then turn the UV off as well. And also just to keep everything running. Now I know some people with treatments, I think it was one of the guys on YouTube was having trouble with fluke, so they kind of bypassed the drum system and also kind of let it soak with the koi. Now they said don't worry about that, just put it in and it should do the job. So that's all measured out as they've told me. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pop that in the pond. Okay, just before we put in the treatment, just want to make sure everything's working okay. Yep, nice and clean in there, nice and clear in there. Now we'll go over to the pond, try not to trip over anything. Now they won't be having any more food. You can see there's, it's turned a little bit green, the pond. I think there is a little bit of blanket weed growing, but it's not being a problem so far. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pop in the treatment. So we've got the return over here. So put some in there. Put some there. And then I generally like to put a little bit just over here. And it gets a good old spread around. Wash that out. And you can see that it's gone over all of the pond there. Made it, you can see as it's coming around. to encompass the whole pond. Just make sure that's all out there. I'm doing it vlog style, guys, because it is very, very hot out here. But hopefully you can see that kind of dark mass here as it's going over there. And I'm hoping that, you know, over the next few days there's no food going in, the UV switched off, so I might get a little bit more green in here. But I'm really hoping that this is going to be the stuff that gets rid of the Costia. I've already lost one fish as a kind of secondary cause. I've got a few that have got clamped fins. This big kahaku that's down here has got quite bad clamped fins. So I'm hoping this treatment will be good for everyone. So I'll go ahead, put the net back over, and then I will head on inside because it is roasting today. I don't know if you can see the sweat on my forehead. But yeah, I was almost nearing the end in terms of giving it all up, koi hobby. It is really, really hard. Thanks to everyone that's been online, you know, giving me comments, different things of those suggestions. But it is really hard at the minute, really struggling. There was a point last week where I just thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to sack it off. You know, I've tried. And I think his name's Daniel, who's got his new sleeper pond that he built with a window. He said the same thing or similar. You know, that these treatments, they're not cheap. You know, especially if you've got flukes, it's like another £70 for a fluke Sulph Plus, and then there's all these treatments and things go wrong, and you've really got to build it right from the start, build it right and build it once. I knew that this would never be my forever pond, which is why, you know, the mistakes were made along the way. But I enjoy it, I have fun, and if anyone wants to just drop some comments of support to stick with it, then please do, because I'm this close at points to giving it all in, or giving it all up rather. I'm still thinking about what to do with this Ceta sieve over the back. Not sure what to do yet. Maybe I'm going to sell it. You know, I've got other more important commitments in terms of, you know, moving out, things like that, you know, that money could go towards. But if you do enjoy the videos, I really do enjoy the support and the comments that people write down below. It really kind of keeps me going. You know, I can sit there for hours watching, you know, Tim Waddington's pond builds and pond walkabouts when he's going to all these amazing ponds, and all of you DIY YouTubers as well. It just sucks that, you know, it's a real hard hobby, but like I say, you know, I guess it's like a relationship. You can have tests, and this is my test. So we'll see how it goes. As I say, I'm away for 2 days, so I'm going away tonight. It's only in Crawley I'm going. So it's close to Gatwick, Gary at Gatwick Koi, so if there's any big issues when I come back to the pond, then I can obviously go down and see him. But well, the weekend's perfect in terms of, you know, it's going to be really hot, so I might add an extra air stone, or divert most of the air to that large air stone. Well, I say air stone, the aerated bottom drain that's in there now. But yeah, this is it for this episode, so hopefully you've enjoyed it. Just a quick one over on the nature pond. This watercress down here really starting to come out now. This one's gone a bit wild down here. Pond level's a little bit lower, but I mean, it's kind of perfect for the birds and things come and bathe in the water down here. Occasionally I do actually drop some koi pellets in here just to keep the protein of the pond, you know, quite high. Obviously I've got loads of different plants in here, so it's looking nice around here. And for those of you that wondered what I was doing with the quarantine tank, now I know some of the big fish won't be able to fit in there. I've actually given the turtles an outdoor enclosure. So this is the turtles outdoor enclosure. So you can see one up the back there. There's a few others hiding around, mostly underneath that big slab over the back there. But I've utilised the Easy Pod. I will be securing this before I go away at the weekend, but just pump straight into the Easy Pod, turn down there, waste pipe, you can just go into the next door neighbour's garden. But no, it's not looking too bad. I mean, from the outside, koi keeping looks like a easy, simple hobby, but we all know that it isn't. So thanks again for subscribing, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Keep safe. Oh, and goodbye from me, and goodbye from the koi pond. Why did I forget that?